Welcome to the Sobriety Diaries, friends. My name is Nate. I am a grateful recovering alcoholic and sober coach. My addiction has shaped the person I am today and given me the ability and voice to help others, and I simply wouldn't be here without it. Recovery is possible. The Sobriety Diaries is a video podcast where we share powerful stories of recovery told by those who live them. Head on over to thesobrietydiaries.com where you can apply to be a guest on the show and join our insiders list for exclusive content, early release episodes, and much more. Also, please share this podcast with just one person in your life who may still be struggling. You just never know what they may need to hear today. Also, before we jump into things today, I wanted to take a minute to thank Exact Nature for sponsoring today's show. Founded by a father and son in addiction recovery, Exact Nature's all-natural CBD products are specifically formulated to help you face the challenges of recovery, be it anxiety, cravings, or even improving sleep. I absolutely love the Serenity Oil, and Exact Nature has even helped me kick the nicotine habit, which I am happy to say now I am over 2 months nicotine free. As a listener of the Sobriety Diaries, use the code TSD20 at exactnature.com for 20% off of your order. Again, use the code TSD20 at checkout. Happy Sober Day, friends. Thank you so much for downloading today's episode and spending part of your day with me here on the Sobriety Diaries. Today is the continuation of my chat with Abbie Jean. So let's open the diary on part 2 of Abbie Jean. You didn't do an additional detox or rehab. You just stopped the second time.
But I should have.
Yeah.
I should have for sure. That night was probably the scariest. Very. I remember laying in bed because, after I had decided, okay, I'm going to go to AA, I was like, well, you can't go to AA drunk. So, which... Yeah. No, I've heard that that's a thing too. I could have gone there and just been like, I need help.
Yes.
But so I tried to detox, which I always preface this with, this is extremely dangerous. I should have 1000% gotten medical attention. I am very lucky.
Yeah.
Very lucky that I lived through this. But I remember laying on my bed and it had been about, I want to say 12 hours since I had drank. And so now it was when the alcohol was finally coming out of my system. And I first started profusely sweating. And I'm not a very sweaty person to begin with. And then my vision started going. And I remember laying in bed and my vision would go and come back and go and come back. And it's a weird thing to experience. I kept almost feeling my body go into seizure, almost. And then it would subside and then it would happen again. And so I put my phone on the bedside table and I dialed 911. And I closed my eyes, and I think in that moment, I was like, whatever happens, happens. And I thought, I don't know what my plan was to call the ambulance. I don't know. But I went through this cycle for approximately 48 hours of being in my room, vomiting, shaking, going to the bathroom, vomiting more, shaking, lying on the ground, sweating for 2 days.
Was anyone with you?
Not specifically. I drinking the way that I did, I was secluded in my bedroom a lot anyway.
Yeah.
I wasn't a social drinker. I drank by myself in my room.
Same.
Um, so I don't think me being in my room alarmed my mom.
Yeah.
I thank God every day that nothing happened to me because that would have just been terrible. But I started to feel a little bit better, and I got dressed and I took a shower and I got in my car and I immediately drove to where I used to go to AA, and I just walked in, and I remember, that feeling like you think everybody's looking
Yes.
directly at you.
Yes.
And I just kind of wandered in and I found a group of women who were standing in the corner, and I was sobbing and I was like, "Hi, I'm Abbie Jean and I need help. I need help." And they were like, "Well, all right, sit down." And
You're in
I
the right
introduced
spot.
myself. Yeah, I was in the right spot. And I remember them asking me to introduce myself. And for the first time, I said, "Hi, my name is Abbie Jean and I'm an alcoholic." Oh, that makes me emotional.
Yeah.
Hmm. Oh dear. Um, because I say that all the time now.
I was gonna say you say that proudly a lot now.
I do.
Yeah.
And I remember immediately feeling better that I had said it out loud. And I was in a place where people were ready and willing to help me. Ooh, emotions. That was interesting.
Mm,
I say that all the time now.
you do.
But the first time, woo, it was such a relief.
There's something like so powerful and a miracle that you laid there for 48 hours and were motivated to get up and shower and drive directly to an AA meeting. Like that
Yeah, I
pull
think,
of just not wanting to live like that anymore, and like the desperation I think was powerful enough to like pull you through that.
yeah, 1,000%. I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired.
That's right.
And the desperation, it did. It drove me, it drove me to where I needed to be.
So after that first meeting, did you do all the things? Did you get a sponsor? Did you continue going to meetings, or did you find sort of your own path of recovery?
So I was sober for I did 90 and 90. I I really dove into AA head first because I also think, I don't know, I think it's very different everywhere where you live.
Yeah.
I feel as though I got extremely lucky. Like, the meetings here are huge and all different ages of people. So I loved it in the beginning. I did my 90 and 90. I was doing all my things. I
Yeah.
was raising my little hand and
Yeah.
sharing. And everyone, they were like, "Abbie Jean, she's so stuck in her pink cloud." I was the girl stuck in the pink cloud. And I kept telling them, I'm like, "I'm not in the pink cloud. This is just how I am. I am
Yeah.
just happy to be alive and well." And then I got a sponsor when I was 8 months. Yeah, 8 months sober. Um, and worked steps with her, um, and then there was a time when it kind of it like started to fizzle out. I don't know. It got a little bit repetitive for me.
Yeah.
And as I grew as this sober person, some of the it was just the same. And
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to find, and I was always constantly reaching for something else. That's when I started listening to podcasts and reading books and just looking into alcoholism and alcohol and all of this stuff that's going on in our country with alcohol. It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's
Yeah.
everywhere. Um, so I, and then I started sharing my story on social media, which has been really incredible. And I started going to meetings less, and then now I don't really attend meetings at all. Um, I am incredibly thankful and grateful for Alcoholics Anonymous. Um, but I'm so loving my new kind of sobriety work.
Yeah.
And I think that's really, I think it's okay.
I do too. You have to give it away to keep it as well and help other
Mm-hmm.
people. So that's like super fulfilling. But also, like those who are, have more time under their belt or are willing to like help me as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's just like I've moved on a little bit from it.
And I also think something that was super important to me was to find a group of people in my generation
Yes.
because don't get me wrong, I love me an old timer.
Yes.
I love them. They're full of wisdom. I
Full of
really do.
wisdom.
But I wanted to find a community where I could simply just be me
Yep.
and they know what I've been through. They can relate to how I feel. And we can just essentially be regular and have something in common.
That has since translated into 150,000 TikTok followers.
I hit 150,000 this morning.
Oh, was it this morning? I was
Yeah.
watching. That is like, what is it with today? I can't
It's our
even.
magical day.
So how did that happen? Or like what
It's
was
so funny.
yeah.
So it's interesting. I got TikTok, I think, around the time where everyone kind of got TikTok.
Yeah.
Now it's like years ago. I don't know.
Right.
How long have we been doing this for? um,
Probably like 3 years.
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like a little bit before the pandemic.
Right.
I was watching TikToks and I would post little trending things with Bubby or
Yeah.
and I posted the first time I ever posted on social media about being sober was on Facebook and I was a year sober. And the response that I got from that was wild. Wild to me. People coming out of the woodworks from
Yeah.
my past
Mm.
wanting to know like how did you do it? Tell us the secrets. And I was like, "Whoa, this is crazy." Like there's all these people who were like me, like hiding in secrecy and
Yeah.
they need their Santa.
Right.
And I was
Yes.
like, I'm going to be the Santa. I'm just going to talk about it casually and openly. So I started doing that. And then when TikTok came around, I think I posted, I was like 500 days sober and it was like to an Usher song.
Yes.
And I posted it and I got like a couple followers from it. And I was like, oh my gosh, cool. Sober
Yeah.
people. I know they're
Yeah.
sober people. And so, I started doing all the other funny, trendy things.
Yeah.
And then I had a video about my not being able to use my Apple Watch, got 1 million views. It was my first video to get 1 million views.
Mm.
And I was like, that's weird. Like everyone can relate to me about not being able to use their Apple Watch.
Yeah.
So then I had it in my mind about like, if you talk about things that are relatable, then
That
you can
that
kind of get your group of people.
yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, what else, And then at the time, there was this trending thing going around about girls talking about X, Y, and Z that it takes to keep up. And it was nails and hair and Botox and lip filler and all this stuff. So I made a joking version of that, which I don't even want to make myself the hemorrhoid girl again, but it was part of the story.
Oh.
I made a joke about hemorrhoids
Yeah.
and using cabbage to get rid of them. And my comment section was like, tell us now, how do you do, what cabbage brand do you get? And I was like, what is going on? You know, this idea of like supply and demand. They wanted to know what brand of cabbage I use. And I was like, this is crazy.
Hilarious.
And so I had gotten 10 or 15,000 followers based off just being like a relatable 30-year-old girl.
Yeah.
And then from all of that, you know, just more jokes. I have this essential storyline that I keep going back to so that my followers who've been following me from the beginning always have, like, we always have like our first secrets that we had together. So I always try to pull those in. And then I posted something about, like, I had in my mind that they already knew that I was sober. So I posted something and it had nothing to do with sobriety, but the comment section was filled with comments, whether it be they went back and saw my previous video about being sober, but it basically just asked for a quick little synopsis of my story. So that day I had gotten out of the pool, I came inside and it was before 3-minute videos. So I made 3 1-minute videos of my story. Boom, boom, boom. I uploaded them all together and went and had dinner, did my regular night stuff, went to bed. And when I woke up, it had 412,000 views. And I was like, oh.
Excuse me?
Oh, whoa. Okay. Well, a lot of people know I'm sober now.
Yeah.
So that's kind of when my following from people who are sober curious or other alcoholics started to grow. And I was so excited.
Yeah.
Because that's what I wanted. This is what I've been looking for. And it was all different age groups, you know, and we just started these conversations and relating to one another. And I remember one night I was on a live and we were talking about something and I was getting a little bit emotional, as I do sometimes. And all of the sudden, people came into the live and just started introducing themselves. Hi, my name is so-and-so, I'm an alcoholic. Hi, my name is so-and-so, I'm an alcoholic. And it was a flood of it.
Wow.
And I just stood there in front of my screen, just crying. People I knew from my past, people I've never met. And it was so incredibly powerful. And I was like, we really have something here. This community is so loving and caring for one another.
Yeah.
And I just thought to myself, you know, I have to keep sharing, because whether, you know, one of your followers hears my story and they can relate to it, or one of my followers hears your story and they can relate to it, with this community, we can all connect and we can find our people. And it's just so lovely to find a group of people who you can really connect with and share your life with. So I continue to share my story on my TikTok alongside all of my regular 30-year-old girl stuff. You know, I just wanted to keep it fun. And, you know, we got a motherfucking new nails. We have
yes, we do.
The Friday adult song. We have, you know, Bubby, and we have Honey. And I'm having such a blast. So I feel really blessed. I do.
I love it. As alcoholics, we typically, you know, use alcohol as our only coping mechanism or to deal with life. What are some new coping skills that you have in sobriety?
I love this question because this is a very new discovery of mine. Um, so I recently reread Quit Like a Woman um, by Holly Whitaker.
Yeah.
I want to say her last name.
Yeah,
Whitaker. Yeah. So I had read it about a year into sobriety, and I don't know if my eyes were closed, my ears were closed, but I didn't take much from it. And then the second time, she talks about ways that she copes with anxiety and stress, and I remember listening, and I'm like, that's crazy. And she said, she like wakes up, she meditates, she has, her lemon water or her what have you, and then she dances around her house.
This
And
is amazing.
I was like, I don't know if that really works. So I wake up, I usually, instead of meditating, I like to read. I read 2 sobriety things and 1 funny thing. I like to start off on a funny foot, but and then I drink turmeric water. I'm a turmeric water drinker now. No big deal. It's good for your body's inflammation.
Got it.
And
so you just like ground turmeric?
I get ground turmeric and I put it in hot water with some lemon.
Oh.
And I also have like liquid turmeric.
Oh.
That you can put in stuff or just drink it.
Cool.
But turmeric is like the best. But then I've started to blast music and dance around my house alone. And you would be shocked as to how amazing you feel after that.
Done. I'm doing
like, no, it's, I'm going to go ahead and put the life-changing stamp on it.
I'm doing it. I like the fact that I have not up until this point is crazy to me.
No, I feel the same way because I feel as though I am a bottle of anxiety 24/7 and I was just waiting for myself to explode.
Yeah.
And the way you wiggle it out is to literally wiggle it out.
Yes. Wiggle
and
it.
then even last night, honey and I have been doing a lot lately. Like we've had a lot of family stuff and I've been doing a lot of social media stuff. And we were driving home last night from his mom's house because it was his sister's birthday. And we've just been like filled to the brim with anxiety. And he would never use that word, but I know, I mean,
he's like, you're like wound up tight.
We're just wound up and, we've just been going. And he put on in the car like EDM.
Yeah.
And we both didn't even speak. Like there was no like, okay, we're going to listen to EDM and jam out. And all of a sudden, like the windows were down, the EDM was playing, and we were like in the zone.
I love it.
And we got home and we just were like, we felt so great. Wasn't that invigorating? And I really feel, I feel like it just, you got to get your body moving. You got to have some nice warm, even if it's just lemon water, read something really juicy and good first thing in the morning and wiggle it out, man.
Amazing
get your blood
advice.
Pumping.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Get your blood pumping.
Yeah.
Because I try to do yoga, but it's boring sometimes. And I get like stretched out and I feel like in my body like better, but it is not like that blood pumping like feeling. So I'm going to be jamming from now on.
Yeah, that's how I de-stress, dancing.
Dance arama. Dance party.
Dance-a-rama and reading. I do a lot of reading and listening about sobriety and life too.
Yeah, it's not just all about not drinking at this point. It's about life. How do we live a better life? How do I continue to evolve and be a better person, right? Like I'm interested in, continuing to learn life skills too, not just sober things.
Do you ever think about the people who, like normies,
Mm-hmm.
who they've never had a program or worked how do they live?
How do they live?
How? They have no
I think
tools.
they have no tools, right? That's, I think, what is a big problem with society
Yes.
today and the world that we live in is,
Yes.
a lot of the tools that we learn in the program are designed to help other people and
Mm-hmm.
like put the focus on other people and not always just like me, 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 me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is one thing that's wrong with people
Yes.
who are just focused on themselves and not interested in helping other people in the least bit.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Imagine if everyone worked in a program, a
I
12-step
know.
program.
I think about this once every 24 hours.
Same. At
Once a day, I'm
minimum.
like,
Minimum.
it should be like 8th grade, 12
Requ-
steps,
required.
9th grade.
Yeah. Required
And then
learning.
again, yes.
It's
Just,
outrageous.
oh, I know. And that's why I just so love, like, when people think, like, say, or I say, like, oh, I love, like, my sober community, they think, like, oh, she just likes to be around people. No,
Yeah.
because the people in the sober community who have done this life work are lovely, magical people.
Right.
That's why I like it.
It has nothing to do really with not drinking at this point.
No,
It really doesn't.
no, I
So,
know.
and people don't get that either. It's
I
annoying.
get that question constantly.
Mm-hmm.
How do you not drink alcohol? How do you, the temptation all the time? I'm like, no, it has nothing to do with,
I'm so far past that. It
oh,
doesn't even, phase me
no,
anymore.
yeah. I'm like, it's just so much bigger now.
What do you hope that people take away from hearing you today on the podcast?
I hope that people take away it's okay. It's okay to be an alcoholic. It's okay to talk about your story and your journey because I have to take a minute.
Yeah. It's an important one.
I know. I actually have a good story. I don't know if we should share it, but something happened the other day.
Okay.
And this is making me think about it.
Okay.
I was at work and an old timer from where I used to go to AA drove to my work to tell me, well, first he asked me if anybody has spoken to me about sharing my alcoholism on the internet. And I said, no. And he then reminded me that it is an anonymous program and I shouldn't be sharing my life, my sobriety life on social media.
Wow.
I was heartbroken in the moment.
Yes.
And it was awful. So I want people to know that it is okay to talk about your sobriety.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's your story. So if you want to share it to help somebody else, you absolutely can. And I support you. But don't let anybody dim your light. Ever. Because your story is important. And your story is powerful. And there's a huge community of people that are here for you. and we're willing to listen and help. Don't ever let anybody tell you that it's not okay to share your story, because it is, and it's beautiful.
Abbie Jean, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
You're beautiful inside and out, and I am so glad that we connected, and I truly mean that, and I look forward to continuing our story and our journey together.
Me too. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks so much for listening today, friends. Make sure you check the show notes for all the information that we discussed in today's episode. Hopefully you heard something that resonates with you, and if we help just one person, our job is done. You can find all things podcast related and subscribe to our show at thesobrietydiaries.com, youtube.com/Nate Kelly, where we upload today's video podcast, and on Instagram at the Sobriety Diaries Pod. Check back soon for new episodes with new stories to tell. But until then, try your best not to drink and be good to yourself. Bye, friends.